And I got to tell you, it is wonderful to be here in Howard County alongside our Governor Wes Moore, Howard County Executive Dr. Calvin Ball, Reverend Dr. Tyrone Jones, and so many of our community and housing partners. And I want to start off by thanking Enterprise and the Legacy at Twin Rivers for hosting us today. This is one of many multifamily investments that our department has financed around Maryland, and it's a powerful example of the kind of housing that we need so that Maryland families can choose to be here and choose to stay here. The reality is simple, folks. Without housing, we cannot solve the housing affordability crisis. Nearly 1 in 3 Maryland families are cost burdened by rent or mortgage payments. More than half of renters in this state, 53%, are paying greater than 30% of their income just to keep a roof over their heads, and that is unacceptable. We have a responsibility to act, and here in Maryland, we're taking action. This state is led by a governor who not only sees the urgency of the housing crisis, but who has made it a top priority. In 2024, Governor Wes Moore led the passage of the most comprehensive housing legislation in recent Maryland history, a bold and values-driven package that gets to the root of the affordability crisis. We didn't just acknowledge the problem, we took action together, spurring new housing construction to increase supply, cutting burdensome red tape that delays or blocks development, and enhancing long-term financial investments in historically under-resourced communities, and ultimately centralizing resources so that renters subject to a turbulent rental market were in a better position to stay here. And that was just the beginning. So what do we say today? We say we haven't stopped. We haven't solved the problem entirely, and we've got work to do. After today's announcement, there will be yet more to do. And in the months ahead, we'll continue to discuss what needs to be done with all of you here and with stakeholders all across the state to make Maryland a more affordable, more lovable, more inclusive place to live. This administration is setting the tone for what it means to lead in housing, not just for Maryland, but as a model for the rest of the country. I'm so proud to serve in the Moore Miller administration, and I'm honored to introduce a leader who is turning bold vision into real results for Maryland families. That's my boss, my commander, and your governor, Wes Moore.
Thanks, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. First, can we please give it up for our extraordinary Secretary for Housing and Community Development, Jake Day. These moments don't just happen, these moments are made to happen. And you need a leader who can really help you to get there and to push through and make sure that progress is a real thing for the people of our state. And Secretary Day, it really is an honor to be able to work with you today and every single day. Thank you so much for all you continue to do for all of us. And I am thrilled because this is a great day, not just in beautiful Howard County, and I want to thank our belated birthday boy, our county executive, Calvin Ball, who it's a joy to have as not just a friend but a partner in this work. But it's not just a great day in Howard County. This is a great day for the entire state of Maryland. This is a powerful day in the entire state of Maryland, and it is not at all lost on me that we are here making this historic announcement in front of a housing community called the Legacy. Legacy. Because when we talk about housing that's affordable, we're not just talking about building a shelter. We're talking about building legacy. Building things that are lasting, that we can be proud of, that we have the opportunity to talk, not just make memories in, but something to pass off. And for me, this issue is deeply personal because I learned about the value of the home that we live in at a very young age. Because my father died in front of me when I was 3 years old. That instantaneously and unexpectedly, my mother then became a widow with 3 children that she was then going to raise on her own. And after having difficulty, she made the phone call to her parents, my grandparents, who were both raised in Jamaica. Yeah, man. And who came to this country. When they first came to this country, my grandfather was a minister. And my grandmother was a school teacher. But when they came to the Bronx in New York, they bought a small home in the Bronx, not just because they were looking for shelter, but because they were looking to own a piece of this country that was now theirs too. And the reason I bring that up was because when they came to this country, they saved and they were able to purchase that small home in the Bronx. They owned it. The boogie down. And that wasn't just a place that offered our family and so many other family members and aunties and uncles who needed salvation and refuge in moments of hardship, but it also provided a financial anchor that opened up new pathways of opportunity. Because when I was a teenager, and my mother, who'd been threatening to send me away to military school ever since I was 8 years old, and finally she'd give me brochures to show me she wasn't kidding around. But then every single year, my mother wasn't able to do it, and it's not because my mother makes empty threats, because for y'all who know my mom, she don't make empty threats. It's because she couldn't afford it. And so then she was able to go to my grandparents, and they were able to take money out of the home that they purchased, that small home, which they did because they wanted to own a piece of the American dream, but that they're able to sacrifice so I could actually craft my own. And that house helped to change the trajectory of my life when they were able to pay for that military school that my mother couldn't afford. And I can tell you right now, that house helped to save my life, because I would not be standing here as the governor of Maryland had it not been for the sacrifice that they were willing to make for their grandchildren and the sacrifice that that house offered them to make. If you want to create wealth, start with housing. If you want to create jobs, start with housing. If you want to attract new businesses, start with housing. If you want more young people moving to our state, start with housing. And if you want to lift the dreams of our children, start with housing. In Maryland, we believe that housing is a foundation on which we will build everything else. And it is why, working in partnership with the remarkable members of the Moore Miller administration, why working in partnership with our fantastic members of our delegation. I see Senator Lamb there. I'm not sure. Great to see you, Senator. And other members of the Howard County delegation and all across the state, that we were able to pass one of the most comprehensive housing reform packages of any Maryland governor in recent history. It's why we have delivered new investments in transit-oriented development so Marylanders can get from where they live to where they work. It's why we launched Reinvest Baltimore, to accelerate our work in reducing the number of vacant properties in Baltimore. But I want to be clear. This is not a fad for this administration. This is not a phase. As long as I am governor of the state of Maryland, we will be a pro-housing administration, and this will be an administration that moves on building housing. So today we write the next chapter in this work, because in a few minutes I'm going to sign an executive order to supercharge the creation of new affordable housing here in the state of Maryland. And this executive order can be wrapped up in one word: speed. We need to move faster to build new homes. We need to move faster to make homes more affordable and protect our renters. We need to move faster to create a housing market that is more competitive. Gone are the days when we are a state of no and slow. We will be the state of yes and now. So first, we will begin to identify specific state-owned properties that can be used for transit-oriented development and new housing. Our administration will be examining all of the land under state control. which is a lot of land. And we're going to pick prime locations for new development. The second, we are going to cut the bureaucratic red tape because no one should have to wait years just to get a single permit on a single project. We can and we will respect environmental impacts and community concerns. But let's not allow process to institute paralysis. Third, I will create, y'all like that. Third, I will create a new state housing ombudsman position to bridge the gap between state government and the parties on the ground actually doing the work. Because I want to make sure we're working together to create a powerful vision of how we can create greater affordable housing for all of us. And that's what this ombudsman's position is going to be responsible for. Fourth, Maryland will adopt a critical best practice and things that are being used all around the country, and making sure that Marylanders are also benefiting from the ideas that are starting outside of the state of Maryland, which means clear and consistent housing production targets. Now is the time that we want to make sure we're setting clear quantitative goals and make sure that we are following the numbers. And fifth, we will reward those jurisdictions that are unapologetically pro-housing. Our administration is officially launching the Maryland Housing Leadership Awards. They recognize leaders who are stepping up in housing. Jurisdictions that receive a leadership award will be more competitive when applying for programs through the Department of Housing and Community Development. These are going to be the 5 ingredients of our success. Make better use of state land. Cut red tape. Strengthen partnerships. Set clear goals. And reward jurisdictions that lean in on housing. This success is going to be felt for generations to come, and it's going to be felt all over the state. It's going to be felt by the educator in Frederick, who can afford to buy a home in the same neighborhood that they teach in. This is going to be felt by the police officer in the Eastern Shore, who can finally work now to make a family budget work. This is going to be felt by the senior in Columbia, who will now have a little extra money and a little extra cushion inside of their bank account. So at a time when we have a White House that is raising prices on everything, from food to energy, Maryland is lowering the cost of living. At a time when we continue to see a new federal administration that makes us less economically competitive, Maryland is actually creating new jobs and creating opportunities for people to call the state of Maryland home. And I know that just yesterday, the president was once again mocking me from the Oval Office, saying that, oh, the governor was talking about housing. We don't need new housing. Which is so sad. And it's so sad because not only as president he should applaud the fact that we are moving forward fast on building new housing, as a developer, he should know that. But I have to say, what's also sad were some of his other comments yesterday. And so I wanted to speak directly to those two. For all Marylanders, I want you to know that there is nothing that I would not do to keep you safe. To all Marylanders, I want you to know that we have met this moment of crisis with courage, because I am very clear that under my predecessor, we had a violence crisis. That in the year before I became the governor, in 2022 that Baltimore City, for example, was averaging about a homicide a day. And that we said we were going to move differently. We're going to actually work together with our local jurisdictions. We're going to invest in local law enforcement. We're going to invest in technologies and predictive analytics. We're going to invest in our communities, in things like housing. And I can tell you right now that just 2.5 years in, nearly every single crime category, from homicides to non-fatal shootings to auto theft, is down at least 25% year on year. And we won't stop until we make sure that everyone feels safe in their neighborhoods and their communities. And I want to speak directly to our children as well. And please hear me loud and clear. Do not listen to what Donald Trump called you yesterday. When the president from the Oval Office calls you natural-born killers, children who are born to be violent, I say this: I respect the office, but I will never honor ignorance. To our children, you are loved and you're needed. To our children, we believe in you and we invest in you. To our children, we love you and we are going to honor every God-honored potential that you have. To our children, there's nothing we won't do to keep you safe. To our children, we believe, of course, in increasing accountability when things go wrong, but we also believe in increasing opportunity to make sure things go right. To our children, we love you, and we are going to make sure that you are never bullied, and I don't care what position they hold. Because I want to be clear, if I listened, when I was coming up, if I listened to the tropes and to the trolls, if I listened to the haters and the heartless, if I listened to the Archie Bunker mindset and the dog whistling, if I spent my time focusing on those people who did not love me instead of focusing on those people who do, I would never be the 63rd governor of the state of Maryland and the only black governor in the United States of America. Here in Maryland, we believe in you. We're going to support you. We're going to make sure you're safe. And we're going to make sure that every God-honored opportunity is within your grasp. And we're going to do it because we're going to do it together. And you know who I also know believes in that to the bottom of his heart? Your county executive, Calvin Ball. Because your county executive has spent his entire life focused on the people, making the hard decisions, making the hard choices, but doing it with a sole focus on saying that our future will always be better than our present, because the people who invest now understand what the assignment is. And so without further ado, I'm honored to be able to turn the microphone over to Howard County's leader and my dear friend, County Executive Calvin Ball.
Thank you, Governor. Please give our beloved governor another big round of applause. We greatly appreciate your steadfast leadership and for making housing affordability and opportunity a priority. Your commitment to ensuring that every Marylander has safe and affordable place to call home shines through, just like this bright sunny day. I also want to recognize my dear friend, Secretary Jake Day, who is a fantastic partner, a visionary, and with Governor Moore, someone who fights for Marylanders each and every day. They are making this vision of opportunity a reality. The Housing Starts Here executive order is a bold and transformative step for affordable housing in Maryland. And by prioritizing affordable housing on state-owned land, streamlining the permitting process, setting ambitious housing targets, and recognizing local innovation, you are demonstrating what it means to meet the magic in this moment. Here in Howard County, we know that housing is more than just a roof overhead. The growth of Maryland's economy is intertwined with the availability of housing for our workforce and for our future. We cannot achieve economic growth without ensuring that our employees and their families have affordable, quality places to live and to grow, to thrive and become their very best selves. When we provide stable housing, we strengthen educational outcomes, support our small businesses, and create the very fabric of our communities that is so strong that we can leap into the future together. That is why over the last several years we have made historic investments and embraced bold partnership to expand affordable housing in Howard County. One of the clearest examples of our collaboration is with the nonprofit enterprise Community Development. That's right, shout out to Enterprise. Together, we are transforming 5 aging communities in Columbia into more than 600 new, modern, mixed-income homes. And as the governor noted, it's quite befitting that we are here today at Legacy, as this, creating homes, creating home ownership, creating opportunity, will be part of our legacy. Together, we are gathered at the Legacy at Twin Rivers, the first of these enterprise projects to reopen its doors. Reopen its doors for 150 families, for the future, for opportunity, for dreams, for hopes, for aspirations, for memories. Being able to live in this vibrant community with close access to schools, businesses, shopping, transit, and other amenities will change the trajectory of their future forever. I'm pleased to share that 2 more developments, the Legacy at Cedar Lane and the Vision at Parkway, are now under construction right now and will deliver 205 new homes for our workforce. These communities are sustainable, inclusive, and built to last, ensuring that affordability and opportunity go hand in hand. We know that these communities do not come together overnight. In fact, at the local level, we have provided more than $17 million in gap financing to help bring these redevelopments to life. We've also advanced new policy initiatives to strengthen housing across the entire continuum. In 2023, we launched the Housing Opportunities Are Meant for Everyone, or the HOME initiative. HOME expands rental assistance for families experiencing homelessness, supports our students and seniors, and makes homes more accessible for people with disabilities. Already, HOME has helped rehouse more than 350 people. These people are neighbors. We're experiencing housing instability, including more than 120 children, our children experiencing homelessness within our public schools, and 50 of our Howard Community College students. Building on that momentum in 2024, we launched Opportunities for Wealth Building Now, or OWN. That's right, we're pretty witty with the acronyms. To expand home ownership, and since then nearly 100 families have purchased a home through our down payment assistance program, and more than 500 families are building equity through our Modern Income Housing Unit program. I want to give a shout out to Kelly Semino and all of our housing leaders. Thank you. Your powerful partnership is the only reason that we are helping to make dreams come true. And this affordable rental to housing, first-time home ownership, supportive housing, rehabilitation programs, we are addressing every stage of the housing continuum. And today's executive order will accelerate this work, as the governor says, fast across our state, and ensure that local governments, community partners, and home builders can rise to the challenge with both urgency and purpose. In Howard County, we believe that affordable and attainable housing is not simply a policy priority, it is an imperative. It is our duty. With strong partnerships and shared commitment, we can create a future where every Marylander has the stability and opportunity to thrive. Governor Moore, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you to all of the partners and community advocates who make progress possible each and every day. Together, we're building a stronger, more inclusive Maryland for all. God bless you.
To Dr. Ball, to Secretary Day, to Governor Moore, and to all of you who are gathered here today. Today is a very important day in the life of the state of Maryland. I'm Pastor Tyrone P. Jones IV, proud pastor of the First Baptist Church of Guilford here in Columbia, Maryland. And I'm here today representing the Maryland Just Power Alliance. I'm going to ask all of Maryland Just Power to please stand and be recognized here today. That's right. We are comprised of individuals that include PATH in Howard County, AIM in Montgomery County, and ACT in Anne Arundel County. Together we have worked on affordable housing for over 20 years, playing a key role in winning over $1.5 billion for affordable housing, as well as thousands of units of affordable housing across the state of Maryland. We also have worked to create hundreds of green jobs for young adults, quality after-school programming for thousands of low-income children, and access to health care in the state of Maryland. All of our organizing work starts with listening sessions, asking neighbors to share what gets in the way of them and their families thriving in Maryland. The issue we hear most frequently is the need for affordable housing in Maryland. Affordable housing crisis is here in our state, and something has to be done to mitigate the problems for our seniors, for middle-aged blue-collar workers, for the young professional college graduates who want to stay in the state of Maryland. This includes my own family. I am in what is called a sandwich generation. My mother moved here from Louisville, Kentucky. She's a retired respiratory therapist, but she had to move in with me because she could not afford anything in the state of Maryland. I also have a son who is a graduate of North Carolina A&T State University. Go Aggie Pride. And he is working but cannot afford to move out of my home, let alone live in Howard County. So we're forced to have him stay with us. His mother loves that. And I'm not alone in this. People in my congregation and the surrounding communities are living on minimum wage with no maximum benefit. And this stems from our housing crisis. So we support a three-pronged approach to addressing Maryland's housing crisis: the need for subsidy, the need for stability, and the need for supply. We need subsidies for those with limited incomes, that they might be able to get the housing that they need. We need stability to protect tenants, especially in tight housing markets where substandard housing is often the only option that is available to them. And finally, we need supply. more housing means lower cost. And it has been proven again and again that additional housing units at any income level makes housing more affordable at every income level. Put simply, we need more housing. So we are grateful today for the governor's leadership to help remove unnecessary roadblocks to housing development. And we're excited for his executive order for the housing production standards based on where we have jobs in our state. We hope this tool will help us create the will for more housing where we need it most. And there's a lot at stake for Maryland. We are currently losing our young adults, our seniors, talented individuals, and a strong tax base to other states because of this crisis. It is affecting almost every family across the state. So we are overdue for this type of action, and we must take action now before communities become places that exist only for the uber wealthy. If we continue to spiral down on housing today, our children and grandchildren won't be able to consider living here tomorrow. If we don't take action to begin removing barriers to build more housing, this will be just one more huge structural problem that we will leave to the next generation to solve. Our children and their children deserve far better. And we thank and praise God for Governor Moore for taking these important steps today in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Jones, for your powerful words, and thank you to our incredible partners in the nonprofit and advocacy community like Just Power Alliance. Whoop whoop. Thank you for lifting up your voice. We need it to get ourselves to that vision that the governor has articulated. Well, and of course, I want to say once again, thank you, Dr. Ball. Thank you for your leadership and for being one of those local housing innovators. Time after time, not just the two policies that you talked about, which are critical, but at every turn, Howard County is innovating. Governor, thank you for reminding us that leadership starts with action and that action starts right now. Housing doesn't just happen, it's planned, it's designed, and it's fought for. And that's why we're here, to mark a turning point. To say clearly that housing starts with us, right here, right now. This is the foundation being laid for a legacy of housing stability and equity and opportunity that will serve Maryland generations to come. And with today's executive order, we're taking another critical step toward ensuring everyone in Maryland has access to a safe, affordable place to call home. Thank you all for your commitment. So now I'd like to invite our partners to come up and join the governor at the signing table as he signs this executive order into action.